Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Amber Data Derivatives podcast. I'm here with Bulat Kaliev, who is the Chief Product Officer for both BABB, BABB, and ReDeFi, regulated DeFi. Bulat, how are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thanks for the invite. I'm good. What about you?
Fantastic. Yeah, doing great. Very happy to have you on. You've obviously had like a very extensive background in crypto. So I was thinking maybe we could just jump into a little bit about your background, how you got started in crypto, how you found yourself at these two companies, and maybe we could just talk about high level, for example, ReDeFi, regulated DeFi. Where do you see that going? We got very exciting sort of administration shifts here in the US, and wondering what your opinion on those things are.
Yeah, sure. So to start with, as I said, let me introduce myself. So I started my career about 14 years ago. I started as a software developer, but I quickly grew to a deputy CTO within the company. It wasn't crypto; it was just traditional company. But then I saw the BTC. It was 120 or something around that. It was quite cheap, and the technology was amazing. And I was amazed how the decentralization can work for the benefit of humanity. So I quickly jumped into this space. We founded a company, and I changed my role from being a software developer, technical person to being a product. And we tried to launch a decentralized exchange on Bitcoin.
Wow.
Obviously, we were quite excited about Bitcoin decentralization. So we thought kind of how we can make decentralized trades with anyone involved. And the problem was that we tried to do it with Bitcoin, and obviously with the speed of Bitcoin, every block for trading you cannot wait even a few seconds, not minutes. So it wasn't quite feasible idea at the time, and nobody knew how to do it. Like now you can copy paste Uniswap quite easily, and you have your own DEX, but at the time it was quite impossible, I think, at least for us. Maybe we weren't smart enough, but anyway. So then I worked with many companies during the ICO boom. If you remember, it was quite crazy. I mean, crypto is still quite crazy, but that time was even more crazier, with many companies launching with websites and raising millions, hundreds of millions or tens of millions. So we helped companies to really build products and to raise ICO funds as a crowdfunding. So not like working with scammers, but trying to address the genuine need of crowdsourcing.
Yeah.
And then at some point I was hired by Deloitte, this big consulting company, and I was the head of blockchain for the CIS region.
Oh, cool.
We tried. Yeah, it was very interesting because we tried to work with multinational companies and trying to find use cases for their businesses for the blockchain. So how blockchain can be beneficial for transactions, transparency. We launched quite a few interesting projects in the tokenization, real world assets like mining companies. We did tokenization of metals. So they could, provide some trading and improve liquidity. Then there was COVID times, and during the COVID, I did an MBA full time for 1 year here in the UK, and after that, I worked with AI and ML, machine learning. It was quite fascinating experience. We were able to predict not yours, but user performance based on data like sleep and heart rate. Quite interesting experience, even though not related to crypto. Quite, fascinating to know this stuff. And the last 2 years, I serve as the chief product officer at the fintech. We have crypto and fiat in the application.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's quite the background. So you essentially, when you got started, you said Bitcoin was about $120. That must be kind of 2013, 2012. And you looked into sort of DEXs, and then we got the Ethereum ICO launch, I think, in 2015, but they essentially did their crowdfunding I think in 2014. What did you think about smart contract platforms then, since you were already kind of thinking through smart contract use cases, but not having the ability to do it in Bitcoin? How did that shift your thinking in terms of the future of crypto?
Yeah, it was fascinating to see. But by the way, when we tried to work with Bitcoin, we didn't think about smart contracts. We
Mm.
like, it was a Frankenstein, if I could say that. It was like just a mess from our end, not like Vitalik created this this machine.
Yeah.
But yes, seeing how it evolves and being in the space, it was quite fascinating. It was quite interesting, and following what they do from the product side, I was quite excited to see what's going on and how it can influence. It's like now you have AI, right, and this rise of AI agents. It's a similar magnitude, if not more. And it's very interesting to see how AI agents evolve now. So, for example, like just a few weeks ago, one AI sent tokens to another AI. Isn't that fascinating? So they were able to agree on something. Like these two kind of artificial machines, right? They were communicating with each other, agreeing on something, and then sending tokens to each other. Or another AI agent, the Truth Terminal, which is an ex Twitter account, which posted some stuff for quite a while, since I think June, if I'm not mistaken, or July this year. So like quite recently, 5-6 months. And then quite few months ago, he was able to raise 50K from
Wow.
a VC partner. Didn't you know? Don't you know this story?
Nope.
It's quite fascinating. So one developer, he launched he made two AI models speak with each other. It
Mm-hmm.
was in March this year, and it was quite interesting use case because these two AI models, they communicated with each other, and they actually developed their own religion. So
This is the goat
and
religion with the goat token? Is it?
yeah, yeah. So they developed their own religion, right? But this developer later launched AI agent on X and provided X account for AI agent. And this agent was able to raise his raise awareness around his account, communicate with people, and then at some point, one VC partner got interested in this kind of AI agent and actually donated or invested 50K into this guy, like not guy, but I don't know, machine or it,
Mm-hmm.
how you call it, AI agent.
Yeah.
And then this goat coin came, and now this AI agent, the Truth Terminal, he's a millionaire, the
Wow.
first AI millionaire in the world of crypto.
So just
Uh,
quick clarification, just so our listeners don't get lost. So if I think about AI and ChatGPT, when I interact with the terminal, ChatGPT is really returning me information on how to do things. An
yeah,
AI agent is one step beyond that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like the execution layer. So not only does it know the information to do the thing, but it can actually execute sort of on the idea. And so we've seen in crypto, for example, on Solana, we've seen AI agents that can help. You give it a prompt to launch a token, and it goes through all the steps of creating, minting, and launching a token on the Solana chain. So it makes the use of Solana and token launching a lot easier. Is that sort of the idea?
yeah. I mean, they can execute, but the most important thing, they can reason. They can understand what you want from them. They
Mm-hmm.
can reason. They can plan, and then they can go and actually do the stuff. And I think that AI models that we had, like they were introduced recently, right? Just year or two maybe. But the AI agent, they were born, especially in the crypto space, just a few months ago. And I feel that AI agents will be the future because essentially nothing stops you to create from creating an AI agent that will be a crypto influencer, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
podcast host
Mm-hmm.
or, salesperson. They will be booking sales calls for you, for your company, or even selling the product on your behalf. I already saw a video and I posted from my ex account. So the guy, he created an AI agent, which is a voice assistant. So the developer asked his AI agent to exchange USDC to pesos. And then this AI agent called some number of this developer, and he negotiated on his behalf the exchange of USDC to pesos.
Wow.
So it was like fully autonomous, and that's the future. So you'll be kind of just programming or developing these AI agents, and they will be working on your behalf.
Yeah, that's fascinating. This is sort of one of the new phases of crypto. So as you mentioned earlier, we had sort of the ICO phase, we've had the airdrop phase, we've had sort of the altcoin phase. Now we have the AI agent phase. It's very interesting to see. And you said it's about a couple months old. Real quick, just to close the loop on sort of the GOAT token and the GOAT religion. So whatever happened to that? So they launched a GOAT token. Did that perform well? Like what is sort of the conclusion to that story?
Yeah, I didn't follow it. Like I didn't follow it to that moment, because honestly, for me, it's a fun thing, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't invest. But at some point, I know that the market cap of this token was around 1 billion, I think.
Wow.
So it was, as I said, this AI agent became a token millionaire.
Amazing.
So we'll see how it would work in the future. I mean, obviously there is maybe someone behind the scenes, that is controlling, like the wallet. The developer, he is actually controlling the wallet and controlling the tweets. So it's kind of managed way to do the stuff. But soon, I believe there will be kind of fully 100% autonomous machines doing some stuff, and that actually bridges us to the conversation around safety, about privacy, about ethics and regulations. Because like in the banking, for example, there are strict regulations around AI, right? You cannot allow AI to control your bank account. But in the crypto space, I mean, you can give your AI a wallet, and it can.
That's a great point.
And tokens. So there is nothing preventing you from, and that's why crypto and AI, works together very well, at least for now.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when you mentioned, exchanging crypto for pesos, essentially the AI agent had to cross the gap outside of digital world into the meat and space world that humans exist in to essentially do that. But crypto is all in the digital world, so it's like the perfect asset to be owned or manipulated by essentially artificial intelligence that live in the digital world.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to just jump into ReDeFi a little bit. So this is another company that you are the chief product officer for. ReDeFi stands for Regulated DeFi. Can you give us just a brief overview of sort of that vision and where you see things going? Obviously, the U.S. Has taken a turn for positive regulation in here for crypto and crypto-related projects. How do you view all that stuff?
Yeah, so year and a half ago or something like that, maybe 2 years ago, I wrote a white paper about stablecoin version 2, which is bridging the gap between stablecoins and fiat currencies. So essentially, you can have a self-custody wallet with the bank account details on it, IBAN or SWIFT. So you can receive tokens like currencies and tokens, as well as real money in the form of token. So essentially, like your granny or whatever who is not into crypto, they can use your bank account details from your self-custody wallet, send money from their Web2 bank account, but you will receive them as tokens, and we will be able to exchange them to crypto. And then you will be able to send your tokens back to bank account details, and they will receive this as a fiat currency. And that's I see it as a bridge between Web2 and Web3, because currently what I see is still there is a huge friction, even with the on and off ramp companies, there is still lots of friction between, okay, I'm not crypto native, I'm in the Web 2. Now I need to go to some exchange, open an account, pass the KYC, then find a way. Yeah, and in most cases, it's not an easy way to top up my account. Then you can use some on-ramp solutions, but you need to pass additional KYC. So there are many steps for me in order to get into crypto. And then if I finally got some money, then I can work with this. But this on-chain money concept that I wrote is about bridging this gap. So essentially, you are creating a self-custody wallet with the bank account details. Of course, there should be a provider for bank account details, but after you have it, so essentially nobody stops you from receiving fiat in the form of tokens. And the ReDeFi is a concept of being regulated, but still kind of but being regulated and also in the DeFi space, providing services like that.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. So essentially the concept of linking a bank account and a wallet seamlessly creates like an on-ramp, off-ramp between fiat and crypto, but it's essentially at sort of the bank level, and it's seamless or frictionless. I think here in the U.S. there's been a big regulation around can banks custody crypto. It sounds like if we were to move forward with the ability of banks to custody crypto, that would be kind of a natural evolution of where things would go, where essentially your fiat bank account would also be associated with some sort of wallet, and now you can kind of move between all venues in a seamless fashion. Is that kind of the vision, and do you see that going forward in the future?
Yeah, exactly. So kind of there are two forms of, not two forms, but two, the crypto is splitting, right? So one part will be kind of regulated crypto space. So banks and financial institutions offering the services that you mentioned. So you are fully in the crypto space, like in the regulated crypto space, but you use services like standard banking applications, fintech, etc. But there is also another part of crypto which is decentralized and unregulated, and probably this space will exist forever alongside with the regulated crypto, because some people they just don't want to get regulated, right? Some people just prefer to be free from the system. Some people just kind of rebels, etc. So I think these two worlds will coexist, and you can be both. You can use DeFi and you can use regulated crypto / Web 2.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And in my mind, that's kind of what we've seen in the investable world of crypto with the spot ETF launches. Essentially, the spot ETF is just a wrapper around Bitcoin that brings it into the regulated finance world that allows participants in that ecosystem to trade Bitcoin. And now we recently just got options on those ETFs. So now there's essentially a derivatives market that lives within the regulated ecosystem. But then we also have the CeFi options market like Deribit, and then we have the DeFi options market like Derivs on EVM. So it definitely makes sense that all three venues live side by side. So hopefully we could kind of see that positive regulation develop here in the U.S. Has the regulatory environment in the U.S., do you find that encouraging, or do you think it's not a big deal, or how do you view sort of the recent developments with the election?
No, definitely. I mean, it all will depend on the actual things, right? Because one thing is to promise, and we see it lots of the times, all the time. So when someone promises something, it's good. It's already, showing maybe the progress or the intention. But then when it comes to execution, if the promises are executed, well, that would be the best for everyone, I think. And if the US will adopt crypto regulations, not strict, but good in a good way, that will be very positive because there are many users that do want to use crypto and do want to enter the crypto market. And also, kind of, there are many users that trying to not trying but using crypto already, but in a kind of shady ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it will be beneficial for people in the US and also for the crypto market in general. Any big country like US, of course, will impact the market.
And in your in both your professional positions and your own personal investing, in terms of like where we see Web3 developing, for the longest time it's been in Ethereum. I think Ethereum has recently frustrated a lot of investors. Solana's become now a new competitor or has reemerged as a competitor. Where do you view sort of the development of blockchain space? Is Web3 even viable, or do you expect Bitcoin to continue to dominate? Or are you a user of the EVM ecosystem or maybe the Solana ecosystem? Where do you concentrate most of your time, and where do you see things going?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think they will, again, coexist, right? Because Bitcoin is just kind of digital gold. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody can stop it. Nobody can, I think, fight it because it's just here, right? And other chains, probably they will be focusing more on different use cases. And it's not like Ethereum or Solana. I think it's Ethereum and Solana and then other chains, because of the different use cases, because of different applications, because of different user preferences, and even like revenue models and everything is different. So I think because the crypto, in my belief, is it's still early. It's still early, despite Bitcoin is 100K, well, almost, right? There will be more people entering the market. There will be more Web2 companies entering crypto space. There will be more merge between Web2 and Web3. So there will be much more users and use cases and applications. So I believe the space is there will be a lot of stuff going on. And if we compare, by the way, the Web3 space with the internet at the same stage, I recently posted about it. So the internet at that stage was about, I think, under 1 million of users. And then 20 years from that point, like if you take Web3 and internet, so internet was less than 1 million users. And if we take like 20 years from now, how many users are now? So it's like X20, right? So I assume the crypto will see the same kind of growth rate. And if I don't believe that all people that on crypto, it's like maybe 10% of all people that will be in crypto in 10, 20 years. And we yet to see all the use cases where we can use EVMs or Bitcoin or other chains.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's awesome. Well, Bulat, typically I like to end the podcast interviews with a few sort of personal questions. And so I think the first one is, when you're not working in the crypto space, what do you like to do personally outside of work?
Well, work. I work a lot. I know that there are things that we need to find balance and etc. But I just like working. But if I need to kind of recover, I do climbing, bouldering.
Oh, nice.
Some boxing sessions as well. Cooking sometimes, walking just outside, to refresh your mind.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm also a boxer. It's
Oh,
fun.
really?
It's a good sport. Very tiring for sure, but very fun. If you could go back in time and give yourself a piece of advice along your career, what would be a piece of advice you would give your younger self?
That's kind of buy more Bitcoin. Count as an advice.
That's fair. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then sort of the last question here, if someone wanted a career like yours, what would be a piece of advice that you would give them?
You mean a career like a product career?
Yeah, a career like you've enjoyed so far.
Yeah. So I think like I prefer to think about product like a chief, small chief officer of because essentially what product does is it's covering lots of areas. Product should think about not only kind of features and the user growth and users, right, user value. It's also should product also should think about marketing, about finance, about commercial side of the business. Like would this feature bringing some money, or would it be dragging some money? Like budgeting wise, would it be viable? Then technically wise, would it be good to implement this feature, or what would be the effort to do so? So good product thinks about everything: finance, compliance, users, product, all areas. So I prefer to think about it as an entrepreneurial person inside of a company, right? So the advice, if someone wants to enter this field, I think the good advice is to study almost everything. Like you don't need to be an expert in marketing, right? But you should understand marketing very well. You don't need to be expert in technology, but it's good if you can speak with software developers their language, and you can easily communicate, and then they can easily understand you. And also having broad understanding of business, how it works, because launching features in a vacuum is not good. Every feature should follow strategic goals of the company, the needs of the customer. It should solve these pain points of the customer, right? And then it should bring value. And so there are lots of things to consider. And good thing about product is that I believe there is no right or wrong path to it, because anyone from any field, from engineering team, they can become a good product because they know engineering, and the only thing they need is to learn about business, about management, about marketing. Marketing, I think, person can also become a product because they understand the marketing. So product marketing can be covered quite easily, and then they need to learn a bit of engineering, a bit of business. So yeah, just go for it if you want. It's a very interesting, exciting career path.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. Like the generalist mindset, it was pretty beneficial in that sense, because you're almost a mini CEO within a bigger umbrella, but you're like in charge of that division or that product. I find myself in a similar situation a lot of times. And yeah, you got to organize a lot of moving parts from various different sort of domains of expertise. So that's very insightful.
Yeah. Also, like you don't have this, hard power or, force. You cannot use brutal force. So you're a CEO in terms of responsibility and ownership, but not in terms of power. So you have to be very communicative and using soft powers, try to, make people think and do stuff that you want.
Yeah, that's true, because you got to organize all these deadlines, all these peoples. A lot of people are blockers amongst each other on the team, so this person has to do that before that person can do it, and you're the only person who is the touch point across the board. So that's very interesting. Well, Bulat, thank you so much for coming on. It's very interesting. We're very curious to see how regulated DeFi comes along, the integration of payments between fiat and crypto, and where AI and AI agents bring to crypto space. So thanks for bringing this information to us.
Thank you, Greg.
Enjoyed having you on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Greg.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Bye. And thanks to everyone who tuned in. We'll see you next time.